to your phone, Mike. Moshi.
Copy.
We locked in. What's up? What's
We
up, G?
locked all the way in, man.
We
Shout it
locked
out,
in.
everybody, man. Y'all tuned in to We Locked In. I'm your host, Moshe Canty. I'm here with my brother, Mikey B, and our special guest, Mr. Terrall Tillman. Shout it out, my brother. What's good?
What's good? What's good, Moshi, Mikey B, man? It's a blessing for you guys to have me here, man. From the west to the east, you know what I'm
We
saying?
Nation, west to the
We
east,
show,
east to the
we
west. You
show,
already
baby,
know.
we
We
show.
Nation.
They don't even know how we rock. You know what I'm
We
saying?
Nation.
They don't know how we linked up, man.
That's
you know
right.
What I'm saying?
So many different variables how we could just start talk about this relationship here, man. But how you been?
Man, I'm blessed, man. Blessed by the best. No complaints. Just moving forward. You know, pushing that positive energy and pushing that line pushing that line positively, like I used to push it negatively. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
But
I be trying to do. I do the same thing.
Word about the law.
Yo, I see Joey P in the chat talk about We Nation. What's good, Joey P? Yo, we love y'all, man. We love you, man. Yeah, so
basketball. What's up?
so it's good to see you, man. You know, we're gonna definitely get into and shout out out who the person Mr. Tillman is, right? You know, his origins, you know, the value systems he adheres to and things of that nature. But more importantly, who he is now, his rise to fame, his rise to success. But before we get to that, there's some things we gotta basically harp on, and that's my brother Mikey B, man. We want to talk briefly about Mikey because today is Friday the 13th, 2023. 2 years home, my brother.
Yes, indeed.
Congratulations, man.
Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate it, man. Success, man. I just thank y'all. I thank all y'all for y'all support, y'all wisdom. You know, the little stuff, and all that helps guide us, helps keeps us firmly, our feet firmly headed straight in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? So, I thank the peoples, man. I thank my family. I thank my friends. I thank the community that supported me, that hired me, my job, giving me the opportunity to come out here and do the things that I do. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna make everybody proud. And I'm gonna make sure I always set that example. So the next dude that was gang banging and doing all the stuff they did early in their life, you know what I mean? When they come out here, they give them same opportunities because they know, we have Mikey. You look what he did when he came home. You know what I'm saying? He changed his life. You could do it too. My mom's, she had spoke about other elders from my community that did a lot of time. I did the most time out of everybody in my crew, from my block, from my neighborhood. I did the most time. So, but she would give me examples of dudes that came home like, yo, look at him, bro. Now I'm that example for the next generation. Like, yo, look at him. You know what I mean? Don't do the time if you ain't got to. I would please, don't do what I did. Don't be as dumb as I was. But if you got to do the time, at least come back out here and, do that 180 like we did and, get on the right path and be here for our families and our communities and our peoples. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. And thank you for that, Mikey B. I'm honored, to always have the opportunity, man, of spending time with you, seeing your growth, seeing your development. From the beginning to now, it's been a journey for you. It's been a journey alongside you, having the opportunity, man, of growing with you. But I'm proud that you've been out here for 2 years. We've been talking about reentry over the last couple of episodes. That's been the discussion. We started talking about the situation with Blue Boy. And then, we wanted to kind of keep it there for that reason. Now we're here with our brother Terrall Tillman. We're going to basically get into that. And that's just important, man. So I'm really proud of all of the work that you've done to get you up to this point, the work that you continue to do. It's amazing, bro. A lot of the work that you do does not get the attention, and we don't do it for the attention, but I know the value of the work that you're doing behind the scenes, and I truly appreciate it. And congratulations, my brother. I look forward to keep working with you and keep doing great things.
Appreciate y'all. Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. But without further ado, now that we sent the congratulatory gestures to our comrade, and for the record, Mikey B is going to leave us because he got some business to attend. He got to spend some time with my sister, right? Got to celebrate, take out my sister, and I love and respect that, and we definitely gonna honor that.
Yes, indeed.
Definitely. But in the meantime, in between time, we don't want to leave out the brother, Mr. Tillman, man. Shout it out, my brother Terrall G. Tillman. What's up, bro?
Hey, man, I'm here, man. Like I said, it's a blessing to be here, man, on this platform, man. I've been following you guys, man. Y'all be having some real hot topics that be cracking, you know what I'm saying? And it'd be like, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I like that. I love that. You know what I mean? And you keep it a meal on here. You know, I say a meal. I don't say 100. I say 1,000. I say a meal, a million. 1,000,000%. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say thanks a meal, thanks 1,000,000%, because you know the Creator, man. We're divine, man, creations of the Almighty Creator, man, and it don't get no better than us.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So it's 1,000,000% right here. You feel me? You know that 100, yeah, okay. 1,000, yeah, okay. But 1,000,000, we ain't striving to get hundreds. We ain't striving to get thousands. We striving to get millions and billions and trillions in that generational wealth. You feel
That's
me?
right.
So
you know, the funny thing is this, right? So, you know, I'm always with, you know, a lot of people get a little backdrop about the situation. They don't understand the what goes into these relationships, man. Because you're from out in Los Angeles, Mikey B's from Queens, I'm from Brooklyn. But how is it that, you know, people who, in this case, Mikey B and I, who have never met you, how is it that we can establish a platform for you to be able to build? So we got to give praise. All praise is due to the Most High and the Lord. But for putting a person like Joey P in our life, because Joey P is the medium that kind of brought us together, right? So we want to shout out Joey P.
Shout out Joey P. That's right.
Right.
That's the irony of the universe, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell Joey P, I say, listen, man, the stars is aligned. We just connecting the dots. You know what I'm saying? We have like minds. We've been through similar travels and journeys. Now we're trying to prepare our people to the right way. You know what I'm saying? We didn't did that bullshit. We didn't did all that felonious stuff. We didn't live the negative criminal lifestyle and all that slick it and oil stuff. Now it's time to move on the right accords and to lead by example and set the precedents for this new generation who was lost because a lot of us went to jail 10, 20, 30 years and they didn't have that masculinity and that good teaching that we did. You know what I'm saying? They might be cut from the cloth, but they just a little paper bag compared to the cloth that we were. But they come from that lineage. You know what I'm saying? And without the teaching, they couldn't get nothing but BS.
Absolutely. So let's use that as a segue, man. Let's talk a little bit about the younger Terrall. First, you know, your origins. Like where are you from? Let the audience out there know, you know, your origins, man. Where you from, my brother?
Hey, listen, man, I'm from South Central LA, man. From out the Hoovers, man, 7-4 Hoovers, man, that don't get no scan. They say if it ain't scandalous, it ain't Hoover. You know what I'm saying? And if you familiar, if anybody familiar with LA, Hoover, it was like back in the 80s, 70s, and 80s. It was anybody killer, BKCK, police killer, anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We only had a few allies that we dealt with. But other than that, we stood on our own. We got a big ass corridor straight down to Harbor City. Hoover go all the way from downtown all the way to damn San Pedro. You know what I'm saying? So the Harbor Freeway to 110, you go on there all the way to Pasadena, you come all the way to San Pedro, Hoover right next to that. So all through the neighborhoods, anybody that's coming to that freeway, they coming through the set if they're on the west side. You know what I mean? And like I said, if it ain't Hoover, it ain't scandalous, man. We was one of the notorious, you know, sets in the land, you know what I'm saying? And we stood on our own. You know, we would even, you know, kind of set trip on some people that we got along with, but you know, that was just the nature of the beast, man. You know?
Yeah. And so for the listeners out there who might not be aware of that, you know, we always hear this, you know, the West Coast gang subculture and things of that nature. You know, so what was it like? I mean, I know you briefly alluded to it, but just briefly, you know, what was it like for a young man growing up out there on the West Coast, man? Like you said, man, in LA, you know, it's 7-4 Hoover, man. It's lit. We talking about a whole Hoover was serious. So like, what was that like for a young man such as yourself growing up in that environment, man?
Man, you know what? I was ingratiated through my family. You know what I mean? So I didn't come to the set and get put on and nothing. I grew up in that shit. You know what I'm saying? My grandma's house was one of the focal points where homies used to come and congregate. You know what I mean? My uncles was G's, and founders and originators too from Hoover. So I grew up in that era to where I was like the baby of the first generation. You know what I'm saying? So I'm the youngest of all the first generation. So all the dudes that's 70 and under from that first generation, I'm the man that's 50. So I was a little bitty, 5-6-year-old motherfucker running around when they was, 18, 19, 20 doing their thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like growing up in a situation where it was comfort. I was secure, you know what I'm saying? And there wasn't a lot of pretty much in-house killing, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't a lot of people getting gunned down like it is today and through the 80s, how it transcended. So it was like it was a family thing, man. It was like a family origin type of thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? And LA was like that, you know what I'm saying? Because you had the park, Centinela Park, Ladere Park, Laundry Park. It was blackness, you know what I'm saying? So it was a different thing, but Hoover just had its own mystique, you know what I'm saying? Because even like you got Hoover families that's bloods, that's in the 20s.
That's
you see
true.
what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
see, a lot of people don't even know that, you know what I'm saying? The
true.
Hoover family bloods in the 20s, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of things, man. But it was I'm gonna say like this, man. I'm gonna say I was privileged. I was very privileged, you know what I'm saying? Not that I built my reputation off my uncle and my brother because I built my own reputation. But having being family ingratiated in it, it was a different thing as just somebody that just moved to the neighborhood and got put on and had to, you know what I'm saying? Didn't know nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned that because it's different for somebody who doesn't have that experiences of growing up in the subculture and not having an understanding of what that's actually like.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like you mentioned, there's certain values that you obviously adhere to. What are some of the values, in spite of we know there is a lot of negative stereotypes and stigmas associated with the culture itself? What were some of the positive values that you were able to kind of develop to help mold and shape the individual that you became later on in your life?
I'm gonna say, man, straight up, loyalty and strength. You know what I'm saying? Because loyalty, you was gonna be loyal, you know what I'm saying? And you was gonna have that strength to endure whatever. I did 2 federal prison terms. I did juvenile all time. You know what I'm saying? My second term, I got to do off of indictment. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't too many people that can say they got to do off of indictment. You know what I'm saying? Like, just shut your mouth, dude. Ride this shit out, and I'm gonna get on the stand for you if I need to.
Absolutely.
Damn the government. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that loyalty aspect and then the strength, bro. You know what I mean? The strength to endure and have the resilience and the persistence to do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, as a kid, I was into sports and dancing and entertainment and singing and all of that shit. But once my uncle Big Tookum, got killed, it was like my brother kind of went to the left crazy, went to YA, and then it was like I was there to fend for the home, you know what I'm saying? So it was a different ball game. That was a trigger and a turning point in my life to the streets, you know what I'm saying? That real criminal aspect. Because I always been a hustler, always been a little player, always loved women, but that gangsterism and pushing the line and on the BS, that's when it all triggered, you know what I'm saying, for me.
Yeah, and so I was just about to kind of allude to that. I mean, you just alluded to that. I was just gonna get into that. Like, in spite of those, loyalty and strength and things of that nature, at some point you have to imagine that there's so much banging going on out there that at some point this is gonna adversely impact you. There's a lot of young Black men who are obviously being impacted by the culture, but somebody's eventually gonna have to, be impacted. Like, so how were you like adversely impacted overall by your interaction with the subculture?
Well, the thing about it is this: back then, if you banged, you banged. It wasn't no in between. You was either with the business or you wasn't. You know what I mean? And if you wasn't, you was pretty much might get preyed on, or you was just a square and you was kind of hands off. But you knew the difference back then when a person was in it or not. The gear, the hats, you know what I'm saying? The clothing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't no dudes being undercover and banging. You was either banging or you wasn't. You know what I mean? Period. And you would see the golf hats, You know what I'm saying? Until the starter caps came out, but you seen dudes in golf hats, the Batmans, the Cascades, the khakis, the Romeos, the All-Stars. It was the real look. It was real that fashion aspect. He bad. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you see a dude over here with some old patch on the knees jeans, and you know what I'm saying, some little some gas shoes, or some little, you know, some from flea market shoes, or some shoes he got from Rouse. You know, you already know he ain't with the business. You know what I'm saying? You know,
yeah.
because it was the attire. You know what I'm saying? So you would be able to pinpoint who was actually involved in that lifestyle and who wasn't. And those that wasn't, they got preyed upon a lot of times, and then that made some of them people get into that culture as well.
Yeah. And I know you mentioned that you basically ended up spending time in juvenile. How old were you initially when you got jammed up?
Man, I was like 12 years old. I was like 12 years old. Yeah, I was like 12 years old, and then 14 years old. I had a drug case, and I had a gun case, and it was so crazy because as I was going through it, I ended up having to go to court for both of them the same day, and then that's when they detained me. Because I'll go back and forth to juvenile hall for little shit, you know, GTA, shit like that. And I went from one court to the next court, and then they locked me up. I went from there, went to LP, went to Central, went to Sylmore, then I went to Camp Mariloma, you know what I mean? And that was like 15 years old. So I was like, and when I did that, because all my road dogs was pretty much in YA. You know, my brothers and a lot of the older peers that was in my peer group, they was all in YTS and YA, which is, you know, California Youth Authority, and that's the juvenile system it's juvenile prison for the youth. You know what I mean? So that was like gladiator school, and I was like, I wanted to go to YA, but I didn't like being in jail. I don't like being told what to do with being locked up. I'm like a slick guy. I want to get away with my stuff. You know what I mean? So when I went through camp there, I was like, this ain't the life for me. You know what I'm saying? It was fun. I had scraps and stayed in a little box and all that for fighting and all that, cussing out the staff. But ultimately, that was not for the kid. I was like, I'm not with this lockup stuff. You feel me?
Yeah, pardon me.
And once I got out, I didn't go back until I called the Fed case at 18. Yeah, 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
And how long was that? How long was that? How long was that?
Bo, before you ask the next question, let me just tap out. Yo, salute to you, bro. You already know it's We Nation. You know what it is already.
Salute, Mikey B. Salute, Mikey B.
I gotta go. You know, it's anniversary for me and wifey. You know what I'm saying? So you know.
Yeah, that's right. You better go handle that. That's fact.
Brothers, you know what I'm saying? I try to tap back in. but I gotta go with wifey. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely,
bro. I'm copping that book.
I got
absolutely.
You. I know you got one for me, but I'm gonna cop one too.
All right,
absolutely. I support you, bro. You heard?
Moshi gonna put the link on it. He gonna put the link on there. And
matter of fact, hold on. What's the link? What is it? Where is it at? Amazon?
I got you. I'm gonna send it to you, Mike.
It's on Amazon. Where is it at?
It's on Amazon. Yeah, it's on Amazon.
Send me the link.
I just sent it to you, Mike.
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon?
Yes, sir.
Hold on, I'm gonna buy it right now. Hold on, I'm buying it right now. Watch. I'll support too.
That's what's up,
Facts.
bro. That's what I do, man. I support black businesses. I support my brothers and my sisters that got stuff going on. It's the camaraderie, and that's what we got to build. You know what I mean? Showing support for what it is. You know what I mean? You go to the club, you go spend money on just frivolous stuff. Why you can't support the brother? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's right.
Black dollars. And that's one thing that I learned now as an adult. Our black dollars don't stand in our black community an hour.
That's right. And that's what we gotta do. We gotta move those that dollars around.
Yeah, man.
Change the narrative up.
Yeah,
so I guess my questions were gonna start.
I got that, bro. I'm tapping out, bro. You heard?
Come on, bro. All right, man.
All right, love you, Mike.
Happy anniversary, man. Go enjoy yourself.
Chat. Peace, y'all.
Peace out.
So I wanted to get a little bit into the questions that are really the basis of what inspired you to pen this book. You know, we're gonna get into the title and things of that nature, but I know that you spent time in the feds, and you said you were 18 initially, right?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, and that was your first bid. How old were you from the first time you got locked up until you finally like served your last prison sentence? Like when did that come to an end?
Okay, well, I went in 91. I went in May 25th, 1991. I was sentenced to 12 and a half years in the feds. I ended up doing 11 years and 1 month, concluding the halfway house and everything. You know what I mean? I stayed out. So I got let out to the halfway house January the 1st, 2002. I stayed out to January the 12th, 2012. So it was like a 10-year spat. And then, like I say, numbers and symbolization, you got to pay attention to it. Got to pay attention to it. You know what I mean? I got out January the 1st, 2002. I went back into the feds January 12th, 2012. And I was off paper. So it's like, man, you got to be conscious and have that third eye open, man, of what's really going on in this universe. You know what I mean? Because if you're the walking dead around here, man, ain't no telling if you're gonna ever wake up. You know, some don't wake up.
You know, we've been having this conversation, as I mentioned earlier, about reentry and what that looks like. And those of us who unfortunately have spent time incarcerated, and just for the record, for individuals who are just pulling up, the We Locked In, we are not promoting the fact that we've spent time incarcerated as a way to
No.
You know, as a badge of honor. You know, we're not trying to be like, yeah, this is us. This is no one wants to glorify the fact that we had to spend an exorbitant amount of our lives locked away in somebody's prison. So that's just not the case. I know some people have pulled up on our channel and somehow they may have gotten the impression that that's what it was. But the reality was like, we feel like we lost a lot. Our families lost a lot. Our communities lost a lot. Yeah. So when we're talking about reentry, we know a lot of individuals who this revolving door has impacted. And when they come out, you know, you were impacted by that. I was impacted by that. I went, you know, through my experiences as a juvenile, going, you know, in and out of juvenile institutions, as well as a young adolescent on Rikers Island and things like that, going up north and stuff like that, then coming home, going back up north, you know, so I know what that reentry and that recidivism thing looked like, right? So, you know, but I know at some point for you, as in myself, a light clicked on, a switch clicked on, and it was like, yo, I'm going through all this, but I know I'm better. I know my purpose in this world is to do something better, and I know I can do something better. So speak to me about, first and foremost, your book that I'm about to put into the chat. You know, The Formula for Success, Reentry 3.0. I want to be able to speak about this because this book right here, I'm hoping everybody, when I put this link in the chat, that you go to Amazon and at least purchase one copy, at least one. You gotta get this book. This book is a must-have for us, for our relatives who we know who are incarcerated, just being released. Terrall, explain what were some of the seeds that helped you put these ideas into paper. Like what spurred on these thoughts for you?
Well, I'm gonna say it straight like this, bro. It was a gift from the Creator. It was a gift from the Creator because the first time I got out of prison after doing 11 years, from 18 going in and coming out when I was 30, I just wanted to be a workaholic. I was work. I got to get this money. I got to work. I don't never want to sell drugs no more because I've seen the damage and the destruction it did to my community, my loved ones, my family, myself, my kids. So I was workaholic. But as time went by, things started. My brother passed, and then I got into the intervention sector and the community work, and just something just didn't feel right. Something just didn't feel right, bro. And I had a sound, and I told one of my little cousin, her baby dad, like, man, I don't know, but I feel like I'm finna go do some time or something. Something ain't right. And lo and behold, probably some months after that, I ended up finna take them to the doctor to get the baby circumcised. I mean, see, the baby had just been born and was circumcised, so I was finna take them to the doctor. And lo and behold, the feds got me then. And it was like, okay, now I'm back in jail, and I'm angry at myself. I'm kicking myself in the ass. And I'm just like, wow. Now, mind you, I've been out 10 years. So it's a lot of brothers that was still in the joint in the feds from my first bit. So now they at Line Pop. I'm going to Line Pop Low. So I'm going back there. This, and mind you, Line Pop Low is the first federal joint that I hit after I left Chicago MCC in '91. So I'm back at Line Pop Low, see the whole transformation, and dudes is waiting to receive me like, oh, what's up, man? I know you was coming. Here go my paperwork. Nigga, I don't want to talk. I was disgusted. I really, really wanted to kill somebody. I really wanted to hurt somebody because I had repeated the cycle, and not only for myself, but for my children. You know what I'm saying? My second stint for my first kids, but I mean, it was the second stint for my first kids, and then I had a whole new, my son and my daughter, so they was finna go through the same exact thing, not even being 4 years old. So after I got through my self-pity, kicking myself in the ass, I had an epiphany. And I was like, damn, I'm looking around all the homies that was there 25, 26 years. Now I'm back. They didn't have a clue of what they was finna enter to society. They didn't have a clue. So prior to me coming to jail, I was working on a juvenile curriculum. And at that point, it was like, bam. God said, you know what? I'm finna give you something that you could take and you could help everybody have a better understanding of how to get out and transition healthily back into society. All the different components that it's gonna take, you know what I'm saying, to get your ass out there and get yourself together, the roadblocks, the barriers. So the book has 20 different components. You know what I'm saying? All intangibles that you need from yourself, because guess what? You got to have introspect for yourself. Your self-introspect has to be built up. And you have to have confidence that you can get out into the world after how many every years you've done in prison and be successful and not come back to this shit. You know what I mean? And are you going to live a healthy, criminal-free lifestyle? You know what I mean? Because if you grew up as a criminal and a thug and a gangster all your life, how do you get back into the world and be a regular citizen when that's all you knew was to be corrupt? So I put this book together, man, and I wrote this book. I helped start like three or four different programs, reentry programs throughout the feds. I actually got into the RDAP. That's what gave me a year off of my time and 6 month halfway house. So, and I also got my competent communicators certifications through Toastmasters Internationals. So everything I was doing was on the educational and informing people in there of how to come home and the things you're going to go through and how to get around them barriers, how to navigate in society, you know what I mean? And make do with whatever you got, because everybody's cards is different. Everybody ain't dealt the same deck, you know? So there's not a cookie cutter for the reentry process because everybody's situation is different. So I did a lot of seminars and workshops on reentry. So it was like practice. In prison, it was like practice for me. I wrote the book. I made like about 7 paper copies, and I would go to different prisons once after I wrote it and be like, hey, bro, I got a reentry book. You want to check it out? Woo, woo, woo. You know, the brothers from Chicago and the Midwest, wherever I was at, like, hey, you got, you know, you go to the book. Check it out. Just to give people some insight, you know what I'm saying, of what was going on and how to get out there and have a thought process of, okay, when I run into this, I'll at least have some type of inclination of how to deal with it, as opposed to just being in a crisis mode and just not knowing how to deal with it. So it was like, man, the creator gave me this, man. This book, man, this is like a golden egg from the creator. Because guess what? Not to put no shade on anybody, but how many dudes come out of prison with an educational book to learn how to navigate and make a healthy transition to reentry? Memoirs is good. That's everybody. Everybody got a story. But what has somebody else done? And like I said, it's a gift from the creator that he gave to me, and I'm just the vessel.
No, yo, that's very impactful, man. And I hear a number of things that you're speaking about. One is that you got to a point in your life where you just said that you were literally raised in a family where gang banging was an accepted norm, where this is the lifestyle. This is what you were taught. These are the values you were taught: family, loyalty, strength among. But it was a gangbang concept, right? You know, things at some point got out of control, right? But this is what you you grew up in. And yet you find yourself as a young individual going back and forth out of juvenile hall and things of that nature. Then as a young adolescent, as a young man, you then find yourself in the feds as an 18-year-old individual. Think about that. You were 18 years old when you went to the feds. Now you in Long Park somewhere. You in these joints that stuff is happening. There's a lot going on, right? And then you back, now you back in there. So, this right here shows that, you were adversely impacted by your upbringing, unfortunately, but you were strong enough by the grace and mercy of the Most High to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to break these shackles. I'm going to break away from these values that kind of like held me, that's holding me down. That's helping to contribute to me being placed in this environment, right? But I want to ask, like, how challenging was it for you, knowing that you built up a reputation in Hoover as this street individual who I'm sure people expected you to live a certain way? How challenging was it for you to be able to put that theory into practice? Because you got these programs that you're helping to execute while you're incarcerated, but these are just prison programs. Now you write the book while you're incarcerated. You have the steps that you need to excel. How challenging was it for you to put that theory to practice?
Well, I'm gonna say like this: writing a book in there, and then writing an offspring curriculum, because I also wrote a curriculum that's a spinoff from the book. Because I was like, everybody might not read this book, and let me do the curriculum. So I did the curriculum as well. And like I said, in prison, it was just a practice. That was my testing ground. That was my testing ground to deal with the people that's in here, that might be focused on TV, working out, and all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? But it was my way of giving back and enlightening people before they even hit the streets. You know what I mean? And now that I'm on the streets, I've been talking about this book since I came home in 2019. And as a black man and black culture, when people talk, don't nothing materialize, you full of shit. You know what I mean? So this is like the sister Amanda said, it was like you had a baby carrying around since 2014. It's then 10 years later. Now your baby just came to birth. You know what I mean? And I've been talking about this for the longest out here in the street, because in prison, people know, the people that was around me know. So now that it's here, it's like, whoa, you was really for real. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like I'm hitting these places up. And honestly, bro, the people from the set, I was just, hanging with some homies the other day, and dudes are proud of me, bro. They proud of me in the transition. And one of my brothers who even passed, he got killed. And I had talked to him the day before he got killed, and I was supposed to see him. He was like, man, just stay what you're doing. Just stay what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a situation before I went back the second time, and some shit happened in the set. And I didn't have a pistol. So I drove around the corner. I hit a corner. Like, man, y'all need a pistol? I need a pistol. They were looking at me like, I'm like, what? So, all right, I'm bad. I hit another corner. Man, you got a pistol? So dudes looking at me like, this nigga done fell out. He done lost his ringer. What did he mean? What's going on with the homie? Because this ain't his get down. But I was so mad that I was in my own neighborhood and a fool had did something that was like disrespectful, and I had to get out the way. And then when I went around the corner to where the homies was at, they didn't want to give me a pistol, because it was like, you tripping, homie. What is you doing? You in the community, you helping save lives. And we know if I get you a pistol, you finna go do something crazy. You finna go use it. You know what I'm saying? So they was like, nah. And then he called me, he seen me for later on or whatever. He's like, bro, he was like, you stay what you doing. He said, this shit right here, you stay what you doing. And this is one of my brothers that I grew up with, bro. You know what I mean? And I was banging before him. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, nah, bro, just stay on your path. So that right there was just like, okay, this is what I need to do. So then I end up going back, and now I'm back out now. I've been pushing this community stuff. I was a peer navigator for the last 3 years at the WLCAC. which is the oldest Black nonprofit in California. And I was, over the Reentry program. So I made that Reentry program, man. Dudes was coming home from everywhere. Bloods, Crips, essays, you know what I mean? Dudes didn't know where I was from. I don't be letting on. I don't got Hoover on my head, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a whole different stigma. You know what I'm saying? I'm me. I'm Terrall E. Tillman. You know what I'm saying? I'm a grown-ass man and moving with the positive energy of the universe. So all that shit don't even matter to me now. So now I'm pushing this positive line. My homies love it. My homies love it. They big me up. They tell me, keep doing what you're doing, bro. I see you. I see you. Keep doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, and that's why I was telling you, man, put Hoover on that thing, bro. This is my origin. I will never shy away from where I come from. Just because I come from here don't mean I'm a bad person. Yeah, the set has a notorious reputation. But guess what? We got some solid homies that's known through all the land, you know what I'm saying, and very respected. And I'm one of them cats, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't bragging or nothing, but I'm one of them cats. Oh, baby took him. He's solid. You know what I'm saying? That's the homie. Or he good peoples, you know what I'm saying? And that's just how I got down, man. And right now, I feel the love. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't one of them homies that had to go get permission to do this. And you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I was ingratiated in this shit. You know what I'm saying? And this is my life. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm pushing this shit positively like I used to push it negative. You know what I mean? So if a dude don't like what I'm doing, he ain't going to bring it to me. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't even feed into negative energy. I don't want no negative energy around me. I'm like the witch and Wiz. Don't nobody bring me no bad news. You know what I'm saying? You know.
So how successful in comparison to the Hoover line, where, like you mentioned, it has a whole stigma, negative, notorious history associated with it. How impactful has the new Terrall Tillman been able to use his impact? Because I know you just mentioned it, that working for the nonprofit, you've been able to utilize your impact. But what is the difference, shall I say, between the negative lifestyle versus what you're doing now, the positive lifestyle? And are you experiencing some challenges along the way? And just speak to that.
Listen, man, I get to let down my hair every day. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to do this. I ain't got no jewelry. I ain't got nothing on the dude gonna rob me. You know what I mean? So my thought process and the energy that I convey, I'm not stupid. You know what I'm saying? I can sense fear. My third eye is very open. So I'm not going to put myself in certain situations. I'm not going to go in certain situations that I need a pistol. Because if I pick up a pistol, I'm going to kill somebody. So I don't need no pistol. You know what I'm saying? So I move with that positive energy, and I don't put myself in harm's way. Even though everywhere in the city is a hazard spot. And then, it's hot, it's more hot spots than others. You know what I mean? What you wear, you know what I'm saying? And where you wear it. But I just feel like I walk with my peaceful sword, and I have the enlightenment energy from the Creator. I don't fear anything. I don't fear nobody, but I'm not stupid neither. And I'm not out here poking the bear as well. You know what I mean? I respect the culture. I know it exists. You know what I mean? And just because I'm doing positive and other people are doing positive, it's still a lot of evil forces out here, brother. You know what I'm saying? So I use my thought process to know how to navigate. You know what I'm saying? And when I do go in those hot zones and those hazard zones, I pray to God that don't nothing happen while I'm there. And I done been in some situations, dudes that came through and bust, all kind of shit. Motherfucker done bust on me, and I done went over to do the house the next day. And luckily he was in jail because we was finna line it up. You know what I'm saying? This is somebody that was from one of the Allied games. You know what I'm saying? This is the last time I was out. And I was protecting some kids. You know what I mean? And it was like, so I've been in some situations, and from those situations, it has allowed me to continue to go to work, come home, go to work, come home, go function, go network. The motorcycle club, the goddamn lowrider set, the bullshit clubs, that ain't my lifestyle no more. I done did all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. God got me on a whole new mission that's new to me. So I have to grow into this position. And like they say, those, you know what I'm saying, giving power, you gotta have that respect of it. and you got to know how to carry that shit. You know what I mean? So I have influence, and I know I have something good. If I die tomorrow, this shit just it dies. It's here, but it's the push is gone. You see what I'm saying? So I just stay with that in mind.
Yo, and so we have similar hot spots as out here, like in New York and stuff like that. And I know from my previous discussions, you got family out here as well. So you're aware of what's going on. It's no different. I mean, it's kind of crazy because the gang subculture is a little bit more entrenched out there. New York is starting to see like this exponential increase in gang activity that wasn't there prior to my incarceration and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so similar. There are these hot spots. That if you go there at a particular time of day, it's probably not wise to be over there, right? You just know that. Like, it's like, okay, this is not a good place to be right now because anybody could get it almost, right? So it's similar to that, and I'm thinking about some of the places that you do frequent where potentially, your life is on the line, so to speak. What is some of the networking that you've been able to do? Like, I mean, because I know for me, I've experienced a lot of success working with like colleges. I'm doing speaking engagements that have been helped out by individuals from my collegiate program and things like that I was associated with while incarcerated.
Yeah.
But what is some of like, the people who you've been able to fortunately network with as a result of your book, as a result of your curriculum, and the impact that has had in others as well, in the lives of others as well?
Well, I'm affiliated with a lot of different reentry programs throughout the city, and a lot of people that were in that gang and criminal lifestyle have flipped their lives, and they're involved as well. So a lot of us, that's how we network. Oh, you work for Hobbits? Oh, you work for Volunteers of America? Oh, you do? You have community build? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's pretty much the networking, just like when we was in the game. Such and such over here doing that, such and such over there doing that. And my book is barely new. It just was birthed. You know what I'm saying? I just got the copies November 27th. And knowing that people money was tight and this, Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year, I wasn't really pushing it, you know what I'm saying, for people to buy it. But now this year I'm pushing. So it really hasn't had an impact yet. It's not even scratched the surface yet, so to speak. You know what I mean? But I'm also lined up. I just gave it to a professor from West LA College, and she has a plug to where one of her people is over all the colleges in LA and nationally. Got a national hookup. So we're looking to do some big things with Formula for Success, man, and getting into some schools and these universities and these professors and these so-called reentry experts that just read it from a book and only know data and never lived it. And my goal is to be the national reentry man. And networking. Guess what? Joey Pete, Lorenzo Murphy. You know what I'm saying? The brother behind bars. You know what I'm saying? Damn, I can't think of my brother's name right now.
Jay Burton.
Yeah, Jay Burton. You know what I'm saying? Jay Burton. This is the power of networking.
Absolutely.
Look, man, I'm on We Locked In. The first time I talked to y'all, I was driving to the beach. Remember?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is the thing that Creator has for us, man. It's just on God's time. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's going down. The movement, people really feel the movement and they see me moving. I ordered 200 books. I done already dumped 103 books out myself. You know what I'm saying? And I just got my books November 27th.
Yeah, so you grinding. Yo, listen, man. I tried to put the link that you sent me. I tried to put it in the chat, right? But the problem is that it's too long because in the chat it only allows you to put a certain number of characters, and it's exceeding that, right? So if you could send me a more simplified version of it.
I'll send you the shorter version.
Listen, if y'all tuning in for the first time, man, to We Locked In, please, man, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share this with somebody, man. Put your comments in the chat. We appreciate everybody that's here, that's listening to our brother Terrall Tillman. This brother right here, man, is giving you his experiences, his testimony of what contributed to him being the man that he is today. And he has spoken about his upbringing as a LA Hoover, what that lifestyle was about. I don't think it's no secret to to how the bros and sisters out there was giving it up in that lifestyle, but how, you know, as a result of him spending time incarcerated, he wanted to use that energy in a positive way. He came out his last time incarcerated with a different agenda. He re-entered society. He had a plan. Not only did he speak about the programs that he was able to implement and construct while he was incarcerated in the feds, but he also spoke about how he was able to use that particular paradigm and bring it out to society, which has contributed to him creating curriculums and things like that. So this speak about this curriculum, man. I mean, so where the curriculums at? Because I know that when I develop curriculums, my goal is to kind of like help focus primarily on the youth, right? I want to uplift them specifically. That's primarily. Secondarily, there's other objectives as well. So what's your aim with the curriculum? Is it targeting young individuals who are entering the juvenile institutions?
Now I'm gonna tell you like this: being a creative writer, because I'm also a creative writer as well, and the book can suit young, old, is unisex, no matter how much money you got or whatever. And from the book, I wrote a curriculum, and the curriculum is for anybody, young, old. And then I also wrote a curriculum that was strictly reentry. You know what I mean? For people who have been to prison, and then people who have not been to prison. Now, being a creative writer, I can always write something up. Like I'm moving to Licata right now. You know, they don't have any reentry stuff, so I'm going to do a reentry curriculum specifically for that population and what they're trying to do over there. Put my name on it and put Licata name on it. So guess what? That's going to be my intellectual property with Licata, and it'll be there even when I'm gone. You know what I mean? Being a creative writer, it allows me to make up stuff real fast. You know what I mean? I already got a formula. I already know what it is. So all I got to do is take nuggets. You know what I mean? And I can address it to youth, peers, whoever, men or women. It doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter the sexuality. It doesn't matter the age. I can put it down. You know what I mean? And that's why it's like I'm not really just going to be working for somebody the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm finna explore that platform like you, doing speaking engagements and all of that. And, you know, we can link up, man, and, you know, I could help you, or we could collaborate to do whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I love the youth. You know, like I tell people, I'm the last of the old and first of the new. And I bridge that gap because a lot of these old cats are scared to talk to these young cats because they don't understand. They don't understand, and they don't want to. Some of them don't even want to understand. Oh, them little niggas, they don't listen. They just no. Absolutely. Have you talked to them? Have you talked to them? You know, and it's like, how you gonna be scared of the youth, bro? That was you in a whole different lifetime. You know what I mean? And guess what? You here. So why you not leading by example? Why you scared to talk to your own people?
Wow.
You know, so I do all the time, man. I love the youth. You know, they love me, and they thinking I'm young because I, you know, look 50, but they be thinking I'm in my 30s and shit. So they be like, you know, but they give me the respect, man, and they listen because the youth, like I tell people, the youth are ingratiated with DNA that we didn't have. They got that digital, so they intelligent as hell, but they just can't think past their nose sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And then they're raising their self. You know what I'm saying? They're not getting guidance from elders in the community and people that should be educating them and mentoring them. They're getting it from each other. You know what I'm saying? So if you got intelligence, but you can't think outside the box, and some things you don't even know the history of, you're going to just be, you know, banging your head against the wall. But I commend the young generation because they're not stupid. They're not crash test dummies. You know what I'm saying? You could tell them something. If it don't sound right, they're going to walk. You're going to walk on it like, that fool crazy. You hear what he just said? Right. So, you know, they're not really influential as far as destruction. They with this drug stuff now. But as far as the violence and the destruction, all of them is not like that. You know, you still got some bad seeds out there, but for the most part, as a whole and a conglomerate, it's not as bad as it used to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not as bad. I agree because, you know, I oversee five youth programs in Brooklyn, right? And so I'm in various capacities on any given day, man, or throughout the course of a week, man. I can be in 5 different areas in Brooklyn and literally dealing with so many different youth. It's ridiculous, right? Literally over 100. And in various capacities, I can see that some of them are attracted to the senselessness, but not for a larger percentage, for lack of a better term, are not really focused on that. They're just looking to find their way.
Yeah.
So I there's no doubt in my mind that I agree with you in that regard. I think it's important for us to kind of like be examples for them, because what I try to do is like use the fact that I failed. I like, listen, if you want to know how to fail, I can show you how to fail. But to your point, I can also show you how to be successful as well. And it don't mean you having to go to someone's prison system.
And I was just going to say that. I was just going to say it. How long did it take us to get it?
You feel me?
Was there people like us telling us not to do this or have a better way or being able to see something successful? You see what I'm saying? When I was growing up, you didn't see nothing successful. You didn't see too many ball players. You didn't see no superstar or rappers or singers. And then the ones you did see, they might have been strung out on drugs. You know what I'm saying? When you did see them. But it wasn't the masses like it is. It wasn't really affluent like it is. You know what I mean? So you can see people that's being successful behind the scenes, you know, writers, you know, educators, you know, and people that have actually come from where we come from and prepared ourselves up to be able to say, look, man, I did that. I don't want you to do that. That doesn't give you no stripes. It don't give you no badge of honor or nothing. It give you a number and a target on your back to where now it's harder to get out of that shit than it was easier to get in it. But like I also know, guess what? We can't change people's thought, but we can help the process because we've done it. And if they respect us and hear us and feel us, because we real ones. Kids know real ones from fake ones. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's off top. They and I look at it like this. They like big mouth bass. They waiting to catch something that's gonna be good for them. You know what I'm saying? Because the BS, they gonna reject it. But when they see you, when they see me, they gonna gravitate to that. And we gonna plant them seeds. Because it's about planting them seeds straight up. You know what I mean? And then cultivating them and nurturing them to where you all right, you good, following up. You know what I'm saying? That's where the mentorship come in at.
So how was the and I know we didn't touch on this piece, and I definitely want to do it. How was it? How were you able to put your ideas into book form, into curriculum form, and get them published so that they may become where they're at right now? So I'm looking behind you right now. I see, you know, you got your FSS hat on and things like that. You know, people don't realize formula for success, right? So yes, people don't realize that, you know, you envision this stuff and then now you go through the process of execution and implementation and execution. But like, what were some of the steps that you had to take of not only first documenting this, putting these thoughts down on paper, but getting to the point where it's a completed project? Like, what are those steps? How did you do that?
Man, like I say, man, I give all the glory to the creator, man, because I wrote this book in 4 months in a dorm setting, bro. Way in South Carolina, Edgefield, South Carolina, in a dorm setting. I would be on my bunk in the dorm, all this noise going around. Sometimes I even went in the game room, be right at the game room while dudes playing dominoes and spades and chess. I'm right there writing. They said, oh, Cali, what you doing? Oh, LA, what you doing? I'm like, man, I'm writing a book, man. I'm writing a Reentry book. Oh, man, that's going to be deep because you into it. I was focused, bro. The creator had me so focused that this was my mission. This was my purpose. This was something that he gives specifically for me, and I'm passionate about it. You know what I mean? And people feel that. When you're passionate about something and they see you focused, people can see, I can see your glow. I can't see my glow, but people can see it. You know what I'm saying? Energy, bro. We the energy. Our physicality is just the body that holds the energy in there. But you know, oh, there go Moshe, he don't play. Oh, there go Terrall, he don't play. Oh, the brother focus. You know, just like when you're on that weight yard, you know that brother focus. You know what I'm saying? You
super focused.
So, you know, the creator just made me focus, bro. And being that I was always a school guy, you know what I'm saying? I was always like a smart thug, smart gangbanger, you know what I'm saying? You know, I was good in school. You know, I hated that I had to leave my last year and go sell dope. I didn't have to, but I chose to, put it like that. So yeah. I've always been on some education type stuff. You know what I'm saying? My mom's and my dad was, you know, they was Panthers and freedom fighters and all of that shit. But they was also on educational stuff. And I loved education. So Then I did a lot of different trainings. I went through the PCITI, you know what I'm saying, with the brother Bashir Lakir. And he's actually right now doing it. He got the National White House contract for peace and intervention. You know what I'm saying? He out there in Jersey. He moving through the land. I don't know if you heard of brother Akil Bashir, but I was in the second class of a professional community intervention training institute, and you know, I learned a lot of stuff from him, from that brother. I learned a lot of stuff from different, you know, mentors that I was in the feds with that taught me a lot of game. And I was just a sponge, man. I was sucking that shit up, you know what I mean? And I've always, like I said, I was a rapper, so I wrote music and lyrics and, you know, stanzas and all that. And so I was always gifted with that. You know what I'm saying? That was something, that was God's gift to me, was to basically write and be a visionary and be a go-getter and a hustler. So with all that being said, it was like, now I'm finna utilize all them God-given gifts for something positive and something that nobody have. And I'm an outside the box thinker. So that's why I was like, well, everybody got a memoir. Because I wrote a memoir. The first time I was in jail, I wrote a memoir and a movie script and some more stuff, and gang of poems. All of that shit got lost. Actually, my auntie lost all of that stuff in her storage. But then it was like, okay, let me do something different. And like I said, I had an epiphany, man, and the creator just said, here, this is what you finna do. And he put me on that mission. And you know, like I said, learning and studying and understanding how to write, and understanding that I don't want this book to be a big block. I want it to be in stanzas so it could be broke down. I don't want no words in there where I gotta stop and look up in the dictionary and lose my chain of thought. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be little. It's gonna be hurting my eyes, and my eyes is burning when I'm reading it and tearing up. So I put all of those thought processes into this book, and as far as my learning aspect of how I like to learn, and then I wrote it simple. So a person, if you can read The Cat in the Hat, you can read this book, and it's really easy to comprehend and digest as well. You know what I mean?
How were you able to get it published?
Oh, my boy Joey P hooked me up with Amanda, and Amanda put it down. You know what I'm saying? Like the crown she wear, bro. And it's like, man, that's my team, man. And like I said, the power of networking, brother. You know what I'm saying? How I meet Joey P through Jay Burton, through Lorenzo Murphy, and I met them when I first got out, but it circled back years later. You see what I'm saying?
Yo, and the crazy thing, right? So Joey P and I are childhood friends. I have not, listen to me. Joey P and I saw each other about a year and a half ago at his cousin's house, right? That was the first time I saw Joey P since we were like kids. Like I'm talking about for like 30 years.
Yeah.
Right. But he has been more impactful in my life after us both doing 22 years in prison and coming out. Yeah. He has been more impactful in the last 2.5 years in my life than he was my entire life. Joey P is the real deal.
Salute. Shout out to the brother, man. Hey,
yo, shout out to Joey P is my. You know what my nickname for him is?
What?
He is the common denominator, bro. He brings all of us together, man.
Yeah.
And you know that is, I don't want to say it's his greatest asset, but it's one of his greatest assets.
Yeah. Being a networker, man.
You know, I think, you know, going back to what you said, man, and I want to say this to you, man. Thank you for like everything you've done up to this point of your life, because you dropped so many jewels, but the last point that you focused on was that you're in this madhouse. For those individuals who have not been incarcerated, whether in a dorm or in a cell environment, right? Doesn't matter. You're still incarcerated.
Yeah.
You were able to block all of this noise out. And you were able to focus your attention span on that task. You envisioned something, it was conceived in your mind, and you envisioned that at some point it will be manifested physically. You did not get distracted. You did not let no outside people influence and distract you from what your goal and what your aim was. I think for everybody out there listening right now, if you really want to get somewhere, if you want to do something, if you want to accomplish something, sit still and just block out all the noise, man. Yeah. Invest in your time wisely and follow the example of what the brother just shared with you, how he was able to use time to his advantage. Now, granted, those of us in the streets don't have the time that somebody in.
You're going in and out. You might have just froze up. Yeah, you froze right now. Look like Moshi froze right now, but basically what he was saying, man, utilize your time wisely. Utilize your time to where you can focus on something and focus on it. Because time don't wait on nobody. You know, time gonna keep going. He gonna come back in, man. I know he just probably locked himself out because he locked himself out because he was froze. So he'll be back. So while he does, man, the brother was, making a good point. You gotta focus. Focus. There you go, brother. You back.
Yo, pump me, man. One thing about this is one thing about the internet, and I'm glad you kind of picked up where I left off. Thank you, man. One thing about I just asked my wife, I said, "What's wrong?" She's like, "Calm down. Everything will be all right." We go into panic mode. The wives always know how to kind of like put things back in perspective. So, and I apologize for that, you guys out there. Pardon me, man. This is technology. Things is gonna happen, man. And I think the point that I was making was that, while people are not incarcerated, they won't be able to have as much time as in this case, Terrall, as he was speaking. But the reality is that we do have time that we waste. And this time can be invested into something productive, something that could potentially not only change your life, but change the lives of others and leave your impact on the world. And I think that's something that's very important that we shouldn't take for granted. So if it's anything you learn from this, man, is that, you invest your time wisely because we're all going to be gone. There's going to come a time where we'll no longer have breath in our lungs and our souls will be taken from this physical flesh here. And, so the question is, what did you do with your time while you were here? So what I know you mentioned some of the early influences that have, impacted your life, my brother. Do you credit, and I know you also alluded to that, but, do you, name some of the individuals who you want to like shout out and give credit to for kind of helping to like, contribute to, developing you to the man that you are today?
Man, I'm gonna say first and foremost, man, my mom, she's always been my rock, man. She's always been understanding. She's definitely giving me the leeway to be my own man. You know what I mean? But at the same time, she always say, hope for the best, but expect the worst. So when either happen, you won't be surprised. And you gotta live with to make up that bed. You gotta sleep in that bed. So, you make the bed that you got to sleep in. And then like my grandma, my grandma on my mom's side, she's from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, man. Straight rider, straight with the business. I tell you like it is, had her own club. She was like the first entrepreneur that I knew in my life. You know what I'm saying? Had her own house, had her kids, and, had a club and all that stuff. And she used to tell me, she's like, Stinky, you don't never be in nobody else's house. Have your own stuff. You know what I'm saying? Have your own stuff. You know what I mean? So, and even if you get with somebody, still have your own stuff. Don't never be in a position where somebody could put you out and put you on the street where you had to depend on other people. And then, my Uncle Spud, my dad's brother, that man showed me how to be a man, how to be a father. You know what I'm saying? Because, my dad wasn't the best father in the world. I love my dad and, rest his soul. But, my Uncle Spud, he took me up. He was an entrepreneur as well. So for my grandmother and my uncle in my early years, they showed me that entrepreneurism and that go-getter shit and spirit. And I used to go with my uncle. He had an electrician business, so I used to be everywhere with him, wiring up houses and warehouses and all that stuff. And he used to give me them talks in the car. This was man do. Whoop, 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 whoop. So he showed me how to be a man, how to be a father, how to be responsible, how to be accountable, how to look out and be that provider for his family, as opposed to my dad who was doing what he do. You know what I'm saying? And my auntie Vicky, she was an entrepreneur, very successful. And far as my family, man, the strength, man, from my uncles, they might have been in the life, but they always dropped them nuggets on me. They was knowledgeable. My great uncle, I got uncles that did 22 years, 30 years, and all of that stuff. My brother here, that's sending these messages. That was one of my road dogs. You know what I mean? And it's like I had people that taught me well and laced my boots to where they were protecting me at the same time, but also educating me. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't sending me on no goofy missions. You know what I mean? And then after I come out of the prison, while I was in the feds, man, I learned from a lot of good scholars up in there. You know what I mean? A lot of good people in them federal prisons, man. I was giving some game, and I was like a sponge because I was taking them adult continuing education courses, getting the game, finances, economics. You know what I'm saying? Real estate. I got out, and one of my cellies, he had a real estate. I started doing real estate appraisal with my boy EB. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of the brothers, that was in the game in the day. You know what I'm saying? That was in the dope game. I was doing real good. They was business minds. You know what I mean? I had the pleasure of being in the feds with some of the most successful kingpins and drug dealers in the city, in the land. You know what I'm saying? Even some from New York. You know what I mean? I done been around some cats, man, that I was sucking game up from. You know what I'm saying? I was real attentive. You know what I'm saying? Because I know if a person's successful, they can give you something. You know what I'm saying? You can learn from a baby. You can learn from a dummy. So I've always been in life and learning, and that's why my business is called Lessons Learned, because in life it's nothing but lessons that you have to learn, and hopefully you learn from your mistakes more, before once or twice, or keep up your head. But the brother Akil Bashir, I take my hat off to that brother. You know what I'm saying? He brought professionalism to the hood. He taught us how to, fish. You know what I'm saying? And he tell you straight out, look, man, I ain't here to pay you. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to show you how to pay yourself and get paid yourself. And you're going to have to take my place. You know what I'm saying? So much respect to that brother, Akil Bashir, because, his intervention program, he's probably the marquee people in LA that were doing intervention after Bo Taylor and American and all that went through his program. You know what I mean? And now he got the national contract with the White House, and he's going city to city, state to state, Chicago, New York, all the hotspots, Milwaukee, Jersey. You know what I'm saying? He all over. You know what I mean? Teaching people the fundamentals of crisis management, safety, public safety. You know what I'm saying? So we can learn how to police our own. And in those classes, we helped him also develop the curriculum that he actually lives by now. He got slides, and we was in the class, we was writing stuff down. You know what I'm saying? So that format of that, and going through different training sessions and seeing how templates work, and being a writer myself and being somebody that's organized, because I'm an organized person. So that helped me, brother. And, to get with some of the people that was enlightenment, my brother, Robert Rubin, you know what I mean? I can't forget him. He one of the people that helped us found APUU, which was Advocates for Peace and Urban Unity, out the Hoovers. That was, and it's still standing today. My brother Twin still, he holding it down. The homie Rat just passed, but Twin still holding it down. Taco then came over, Q Ball over there, Steph over there. So, that's something that we started at 17 people, you know what I'm saying? From full trade to the one way, 11 deuce. And we came together as a community to do something for our community and the youth, you know what I'm saying? To have our parks and all of that stuff going. So, yeah, man, that was some of my brother Lorenzo Murphy, man.
Yo, shout out Shout out to Lorenzo Murphy, man. That's our brother right there, man.
Hey,
You know, man, we
that
nation,
man
man.
right there, hey,
Listen,
that man right there, hey,
listen.
man.
That's
Hey.
I ain't even gonna say that's the mayor. That's the governor. That's the governor. That's my brother right there. You
Yes,
know,
indeed.
and I'm glad that and I'm gonna go back to the part of, and I know time is running out. So I just want to say that when I appreciate, because just so you know, people that are incarcerated are also listening, tuning in to We Locked In as well. So, and that's just nationally, not just on the West Coast, New York.
Exactly,
People are listening. And one thing I took from that is that, while you are, in spite of being incarcerated, you can still utilize your time wisely, take advantage of whatever opportunities are available, utilize them, because if there is a chance for you to get out of that place, and even if you are there for a long duration, educate yourself.
yes.
Do not become immersed in the buffoonery and the senselessness that permeates that environment.
Yes.
Instead, utilize your time wisely, read, study, come up with ideas, that can ultimately be utilized once you are released back out here. And that was one of the things that I took not only from you, but something that I said to myself while I was incarcerated, that I made some horrible choices in my life, and I would take this opportunity now to better myself. And that was something that I knew I wanted to do, right? When I got back, I had a plan, and I was not going to allow anybody to deter me from implementing and executing that plan.
That's what Zoe told me this morning. Zoe told me that this morning. He said, bro, he said, I see you. He said, you out here. He said, you had a plan and you putting your shit down, and ain't nobody never did that like you doing it. That was this morning, bro. That was this morning when Zoe called me. That's what he said. He said, bro, you had a plan and you own it.
And that's what I see from you. I see that you are serious about what it is that you do. And I didn't know you when you were living that life, when you was on that hardcore banging time as a Hoover. But I could tell that if that's what you was bopping, then you was gonna be on that type of time. And I respect you for that, man. I truly admire. I'm thankful that Allah has put Joey P in our lives so that he can kind of bring us together. I look forward for the opportunity for us to continue to build upon this relationship. Joey P, I'm telling you, he's in my ear every day. Like, yo, Mo, you need to holler at Terrell. Yo, you need to holler at Terrell. Yo, you need to holler at Terrell. So, I'm glad that we finally had the opportunity of linking up.
Yes,
however, I do expect us, by Allah's permission, for us to kind of build on this momentum, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And I'm gonna be hitting you up, my brother.
Hey, listen, bro. Send me an invite. I'm ready to come out to the NY, bro. You know what I'm saying? And,
absolutely.
Hey, man, hey, as I tell people, you just can't go to certain places just with anybody. You got to go with somebody. You know
absolutely. Absolutely.
I ain't coming to New York with no buffoonery. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, listen, let me tell you something. I was out in LA. I went to, me, my wife and my daughter, we was at, listen, let me tell you where we was at. We was in Inglewood. People be like, oh, you was in Inglewood? Yeah, I went to Roscoe's Waffles and Chicken. That's why I went to all right. But let me tell you what I did. I went right to the airport after that, too. I didn't go in the hood. Don't get it twisted. I wasn't just walking up in there. No, because a lot of times individuals get this twisted. They let their egos get the best of them and think somehow, you can just bop anywhere the hell you want to bop. At 45 years old, I realized I'm not just walking anywhere where I want to walk, because you just can't do that. And, you got to use your intellect, as you just stated. So somebody put in the chat, you got to walk lightly. You got to tread lightly. And that comes with wisdom. That comes with wanting to live more years on this earth, wanting to accomplish more and things like that. When you younger and you got a death wish, you like, I'm going to go anywhere, right? I'm going to do what I want to do, because can't nobody tell me what I can't do, right?
And it's called the license to operate, man. You know what I'm saying? It's LTOs, man. You know what I mean? You got license to operate. Look, I'm from Hoover, but guess what? I can make a call to any gang, any pretty much Blood, Script, Inglewood, Compton, Long Beach, or whatever. I can reach out and touch somebody all the time and have them holler. You know what I'm saying? And I got the license to operate. My car will never be revoked in my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just that strong over there. And it's like, I can put out some fires somewhere else too. So that's why we do the intervention. That's why we do the community intervention. And that's why we network and link. I want to come to Brooklyn. I want to come to Vesta. I want to come fuck with my guy Moshe, and talk to the kids out there. You feel me?
Absolutely.
Show them, look, this is where the origin come from, but we don't even want you to go there. We want you to dead in that stuff. do something different. Don't be a blood. Don't be a Crip. You know what I'm saying? Do something different. You know what I'm saying? Represent this borough right here and make this borough proud of you to be something that's beyond this borough. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, my folks is like, keep doing what you're doing. Because you're going to be the homie that's going to put Hoover on the map on a whole different level. And on a positive level.
Yeah. You know, we said a lot tonight, man. Is it anything you want to leave us with, man? Anything you want to leave the listeners out there with, so that when they put their phones away and they sitting down in their homes with their families, or they driving their cars, they'll have your thoughts kind of resonating in their heads, man. Leave them with something great, man.
I want to tell everybody this, man. In every process, there is a process. You touch this phone, it might seem like it's instantaneous, but it's a process. So in life, it's a process. You can't be judgmental about the next person when you got to look in that mirror your damn self. Where you at? Where your flaws? You know what I mean? Better yourself. Betterment of self and helping others to better themselves while you bettering yourself is the best thing in the world. Plant them positive seeds. You know what I mean? Because, people that cure people, because nobody's going to be 100% cured, but people that's living on a healthy spirit and a healthy energy, you're going to push that healthy energy out. You're going to receive healthy energy. You know what I'm saying? Negative people are going to stay away from you most of the time. You know what I mean? So stay positive. Let your energy be positive. I don't care how you wake up or who pissed you off. Get over that shit. You know what I mean? Because we blessed by being right here today, right now. You know what I'm saying? Have an opportunity to be on, you know what I'm saying? We locked in, you know what I'm saying? Dropping these jewels, bro. You know what I'm saying? So don't take life for granted. Please don't. Please don't. And open up that third eye, because it's more to life than that idiot box. You know what I'm saying? Use social media for positive platforms. Yeah, it's cool. You go in there and see the chicks or whatever. Use this stuff for something positive. Surround yourself around positive people, positive things, and positive situations, and I more than likely guarantee you're going to get positive results.
Listen, man, y'all heard it first and foremost from LAOG Hoover, Terrall Tillman, author of a great book that I just put the link in the chat. Show us this book, my brother, man. Please,
hey, brother, this book right here, Formula for Success.
It's the Formula for Success, Reentry.
-03.
And what's the concept behind 030? Like,
listen, man, you got to be a Fed boy to know, but I'm gonna let you in on the secret. In the Feds, the last 3 numbers is where you got your case at. I called my case in Des Moines, Iowa. So Des Moines, Iowa number is 030. Los Angeles number is 112 or 012. You know what I mean? Every city and every state got their own last 3 numbers, and that can tell you where a person caught their case. You know what I mean? But
yeah, thank you for that.
Formula for Success, Reentry, and 030. And that just basically putting the stamp on what it is. But I'm going to show you guys a quick little synopsis. These are all the topics that are in this book.
Read Saucy confidence, patience, communication skills, housing, support system, foundation, choices and decisions, transitional plan, continuing education, cycles, associates, surroundings, coping, progression and setbacks, relationships, love triangles, responsibilities, being independent, halfway house, homecoming, supervision officers. Oh, you just giving us a whole litany of stuff.
Hey, man.
Listen, y'all. Listen, hold on. Listen, I've got the link in the chat right now. Please go buy this book. After I get off this live, I'm going to purchase this book, inshallah. Listen, we got to make sure we support our brother. This is Terrall Tillman, man. The only way we're going to survive and thrive, shall I say, is by supporting each other.
Yes, indeed.
Because this brother has the jewels that we need. Let's help this brother, man, survive and thrive, man. Succeed, achieve, and accomplish his goals, man, his dreams, man. I got the link in the chat. All you got to do is hit it. It'll take you right to Amazon.
Help me, help us. Help me, help us. You know what I'm saying? It's all about each one.
Come on. I see my cousin is in the chat. Yo, cuz, go purchase this. Sadie B, I'm putting you on the spot right now. and I'm gonna FaceTime you to see if you bought the book too. I'm putting
Hey,
you all on the spot.
Moshi, and look, everybody out there, don't trip out when you see that 100 on there, because it's $100, man. It's 100. It ain't no $20 book. It ain't no $30 book. It's $100 book, and it's actually worth more than $100. You know what I mean? I just had to put it in there at the starting price. You know what I mean? But you know, it's well worth over $100, man. It's real shit. It ain't no fake shit. It ain't no numbers. It ain't no data. It's all fact based, evidence based, lived experience. In every chapter has an educational part and a lived experience part. So you get to know a little bit about who I am and where I come from, and also what I want you to learn. It's a bunch of nuggets and jewels in there, man, everywhere through the book. And ain't no pictures, no pictures. Yeah. So ain't gonna be no, it's all about the content in the book. You know what I'm saying? I want the book to be for what it is, man. And it says formula for success, because everybody have a different way of getting there to their goals. You know what I'm saying? Everybody formula ain't gonna work for everybody. You got to create your own formula. But I guarantee you, if you buy this book and you don't learn nothing, I'll give you $100 back free, for sure.
Yo, you know what I can say? Nipsey did the same thing, I think, with one of his CDs. I think he came out and I think Hove bought like 1,000 of them, or I forgot exactly. I think he bought like 1,000 of them, but I think one of his albums that came out, he charged $100 for it. And I think that's very important for us. And I'm gonna explain why. I don't think that's expensive, just for the record.
Yeah.
I believe that you believe in yourself. I believe that you believe in the power of the message that you're propagating. Yes, I believe that you understand the importance of the work that you're doing. And yes, when you want something, you have to gain it. And you know, we as a people, we have very poor habits. And this is not a knock on anybody in particular. I'm speaking about myself as well. We have a hard time investing in ourselves and spending on people who could care less about us. You know, we'll spend the money on Balenciaga and Prada and Dada and Dolce and Gabbana and all these Italian and European brands, but the person that's right in your face who's selling his product, you'll just literally just walk over him to buy $500 of shoes. Listen, man, please, man, support our brother, man. Any last words, my brother?
Man, I'm here, man. Reach out. You can actually hit me on my on Instagram, FFS_reentry-030 or FFS reentry-030. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. It's Terrall Gino Tillman. I'm on LinkedIn. It's Terrall E. Tillman. You can contact me for any time, man. It's like I'm here. I'm open to help people with curriculum. I'm here to help people, to mentor people, to start anything, man, that's gonna be positive for the community, man. And I don't go by the race and all that. I'm raceless. You know what I'm saying? You know, I love my folks. You know what I'm saying? I'm pro-black, but I don't hate nothing. I don't hate nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to help make this world a better place. And this is my new thumbprint on this world, right sitting behind me. Formula for success, baby. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be here when I'm dead and gone.
Yeah. And that's what's up, man. Listen. Y'all tune in to We Locked In. Y'all heard it, man. Y'all heard it from the OG, man. Terrall Tillman, man. Everybody that tuned in, man. True LES, G'd Up Quinn, Marsha Morris, 6'7" baller, aka Big D, Sadie B. Who else, man? We want to shout everybody out in the chat, man. Johnson Ramos, Frankie Blanco. Shout out to you too, bro. Everybody that pulled up, man, to show their support tonight, man. We truly. Tommy D TV. I love these names, man. Y'all got the best names, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. The Real Wing, you know, Just Chilling, Major Key Boxing. Yo, y'all
people got the cool aliases on there, boy. They got aliases for real.
The aliases is mean, bro. Yo, shout out to everybody, man. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. Please, man, take what you can from this episode, share it with somebody, subscribe, like. Y'all already know what it is, man. We love y'all support, my brother. Thank you for pulling up, man. If there's anything I can do, if there's anything I can do to help push your brand, man, we're here for you. We Locked In, Mikey B, KK, and I. We're here to support you in your endeavors. We wish you nothing but success. We're here to kind of push the envelope with you. So I'm gonna be communicating with you behind the scenes so that we can keep building it, man.
And when it's crazy weather subside, I'm hitting the NYC. So
yeah.
Yes, indeed.
And again, shout out to Lorenzo, Jay Burton. You know what I mean? Sister Jay Renee. And make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Rich Mindset TV as well as True LES TV. Please. And Prison Riot Radio with the Sister Jay Renee, man.
Girl, Amanda is that publisher, man. She made it happen.
I'm about to holler at Amanda. Listen, I'm about to get
my books. She done Joey P book, you know what I'm saying? So hey, man, that's the go-to publisher. You know what I mean? We're gonna push that.
My brother, man. It's always a pleasure, man. Thank you, man.
Peace out, man.
Peace, my brother. Take care of yourself, man.
You too, man. Much love.
Yes, much love, man. We locked in, y'all. Thank y'all, man.